Rod Hayes on
So,
Enlil and Anunnaki.
Enlil, they not from Earth. First and foremost, this is what we gotta understand. Enlil don't have, his children are nomads on Earth, because before he came, the Anunnaki had already divided Earth up into 3 regions. The land of Enki, we call it the motherland, Africa. It wasn't called Africa 500 years ago. It was called the Greater Sudan. Over here, we called it the Afar Inca. And we referred to ourselves as Amur Inca. Right? So Enlil's children, he Yahweh in the Bible. Okay. So he's promising his children that he gonna give them a homeland. That's his promise. The only way he can give them a homeland is he got to overthrow either Enki, or Isis, or Tahuti. Them the 3 regions of the earth, right? So when you look at the movement, when we look at the movement in ancient times, you can actually see the fingerprints of Anunnaki warfare. Most of us don't study warfare, therefore we have no way to understand how they weaponize everything we do against us. Right? So his job, and his son Marduk, who was his first general he picked, and then his scientist son, Ninner Sin, right? These was the ones that he picked, a scientist and a soldier, to usurp one of these clans so they can have some land on Earth. They lost. Okay. Right? They should have never fucked with Tahuti, and they probably could have been able to get by on Enki or Isis, but they can't get past Tahuti. Right? So in the exile of the Spanish Inquisition, right? So in the Spanish Inquisition, they kicked out of Europe, out of ISIS land, some people that we call Moors today. We call them dirty Moors over here. The good Moors is the ones of us who has to fight them and take their fezzes, like you did. Right? Now, the Moors shouldn't be offended. They should celebrate Noble Drew Ali effort, even though the Moorish Science Temple was infiltrated. Right? So this is what made Elijah Muhammad form the Nation of Islam. And if you know, Noble Drew Ali had a Mufti staff. So his Mufti staff was the infiltrators. They was in his Mufti staff. Them the ones who went to his house, drug him out, and gave him over to what they call Rome. They look like us. Right? Now, while they got Noble Drew Ali locked up, beating the shit out of him, trying to make him give us the word, Drew, give us the word. They talking about the Masonic password. He don't know it like that. So he can't give it to him if he want to, but he wasn't gonna never give it to him no matter how bad they beat him. So he ended up suffering from complications of the beating, and then they gave him a melanated sister that poisoned him. Then she blamed it on his pale-skinned wife. So now Noble Drew Ali took out the picture in 1929. He passed it off to Elijah Muhammad, but he sent another Moorish Grand Sheikh to feign the continuation of the Moorish Science Temple. That's to give Elijah Muhammad at least a 3-year head start to set his shit up. Right? 1933, Nation of Islam come full throttle. Elijah's studied up now. Right? Now, in 1926, they exile Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Right? But he left significant work for us to do study. Up, you mighty people, do what you will. Now, when you look up Pan-Africanism, It traced back to Noble Drew. I mean, not Noble Drew. It traced back to W.E.B. Du Bois, and it traced back to Marcus Garvey. Both of them, they call him the father of Pan-Africanism. But if you go back further, Pan-Africanism, look for a guy named James Delaney. Right?
Okay.
Because
James Delaney.
Right. So he the one starting the Back to Africa movement in the 1800s. The Liberia movement. He looked like us. Okay, now it's not the same Pan-African movement. But if you're not a student of Garvey, you won't never know that it was a motive behind Garvey telling us to form a confraternity and to form a Pan-African connection, because the Africans got to tell us they ain't bring y'all from over here. Y'all was already there. So if you go back to 2017, 2018, the president of Ghana and the chiefs offered a qualified apology for the slave trade. It's a problem with that. Most people don't know what a qualified apology is. A qualified apology is this: the qualifications in which we need to apologize need to be put on the record. And we will be, willing to support you in anything you do if we found to be guilty. Right? So when I tried to qualify the apology, I found out that we ain't come from over there. We was already here.
Yeah, okay. We go for the get them. Go ahead.
Right? So all of the African scholars that I spoke to from Nigeria, the Sudan, from Ethiopia, from South Africa, I've personally spoke with people from all of these countries, right? They all tell me the same thing. Man, you know a whole lot about Africa and the Pan-African movement, but y'all not from over here. How did you know this? Right? So now I'm like, what the fuck you mean we ain't from over there? Go back and do your research. You'll find out you was already there. Right?
Right.
So when the Moors got kicked out of Spain, right? That was their stronghold.
1892, right?
It started long before that. It was an ongoing
with 1478 with the Spanish Inquisition? Like the 1478? Okay, all right.
They didn't finally get kicked out until 1611.
Okay.
But when everything started, they sent Columbus out as an investigator.
Hold on, now, ain't it the same year that the King James Version Bible was put together, like the 1611? What is it?
Yep.
Damn. Go ahead. I'm putting it all together in my head.
It's easy to piece together when you know all the parts.
Yeah.
Okay, so now when they came over here, Chief Pontiac said they gave us a Bible and asked us to pray with them. We took the Bible, prayed with them, bowed our heads. When we raised our head, we had the Bible, they had the land. It's all on the record.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, they said that our elders had such cognitive dissonance because they had never seen a ship before, that they didn't see the ships that came from Africa. There's only one problem with that. We've been trading with West Africa for hundreds of thousands of years.
Yeah, with Mansa Musa, all that.
Yeah, even before him.
Yeah.
Right? We also, on the west coast of the United States, was trading with Japan and China for thousands of years.
Yeah, with Ho Chi and all them. Yeah.
So now, how in the fuck we don't know what a boat looked like? A ship. All of a sudden, we forgot what a ship looked like to have cognitive dissonance. That's because it didn't exist. The slave ship that we see, the popular sardine can slave ship, it's a direct overlay for Notre Dame University. Because it was an academic hatch plot. That's why that ship on May the 5th, 2018, bombed, they set it on fire. They burnt that bitch down. Right? That because I found it. I'm hot. Remember? Hot and cold. You getting warm. You getting warm. Nigga, you on fire. Right? So they burned it. That was our cue. That's exactly what it is. So when I when I'm reviewing the records, I'm like, shit,